What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the greatest podcast in the world, shooting the shit uncensored. And you know who this is. This is the truth, the dad bod god, the bald, the beard, and the fucking beautiful Piers Austin. And tonight, man, we got a special one for all of you guys. We got Mikey Sassine in the house, professional boxer, an absolute fucking legend of a human being. And I'm excited to have him on. Phone just dropped. How professional am I? But before we get into it, let's take a quick pause for the colds, baby, and talk about our sponsor, and that is Sleefs.com. That's SLEEFS, Sleefs.com. If you or someone you know is an athlete, you need to go and check out Sleefs.com. They've got all your athletic gear and wear covered, from armbands, compression shorts, compression pants, headbands, boots, mouth guards, and you know they've got those dirty boxes that the truth is always rocking, baby. These boxes stay dry, they stay fresh, and I'm not going to lie, they've got some funky designs on the front of them. They keep Mrs. Truth laughing on what's on the front of the boxes and not what's inside them. So do yourself a favor, check out those dirty boxes. Use that promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount on your final purchase. Also, wherever you're finding us, wherever you're tuning in, make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe button, tap that little red button and tap in, because you know this is the greatest podcast in the world, and we drop every Tuesday and Thursday for you for free on YouTube and all podcast platforms. So, bitch, start clicking and start tapping in, because we're going to start getting it on right now with the one, the only Mikey motherfucking Sassine. Hey guys, welcome back to the greatest podcast in the world. I am the truth, Piers Austin, and I am joined by one of my favorite people in the entire world. And I know that I say that about every guest that I have on, but this time I actually mean it. The one, the only, Mikey motherfucking Sassine.
Thank you so much for having me, Piers.
Hey man, live crowd's going crazy here at the Austin studios. But bro, I'm excited to have you on, man. Like, we met a little while ago. I got to call your fight. I think it was against John Arke.
Okay.
Yeah. And straight away, man, like, your coaches are guys I've known for a number of years. And I had a lot of fun calling you fight and getting to know you over the past few months. I meant what I said, just an absolutely amazing human being, great fighter. Really excited to have you on the podcast.
Wow. Thank you so much. Tell my mum you said that I'm a good human being. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely, man. But dude, like, we were talking just before we got started, man, and like, dude, you got hit by a fucking car and you're still standing. Like, that is just insane. Like, how is, like, we were talking just before, but like, tell the people, man, like, what exactly happened? Like, fuck, like, I was freaked the fuck out. I'm like, Jesus.
I mean, what happened was just an accident. As I said, right, I was going on my usual six kilometer run on a Monday. They threw a surprise 21st birthday for me. So on the weekend, I had a lot of eating, and so I was looking to do something to burn the calories, right? And that's my go-to. Yeah. I do a 6K run followed by some boxing after, and I went on my usual 6K run, and then I went to go cross the road, and even though every car in sight was stopped, like at the lights, I didn't look in one lane for long enough. I just did a little head turn, and we both just met like that and hit me on my tailbone, knocked me over back onto the traffic island, and as I was on the ground, run over my foot. But yeah, it's all good. I'm walking, and instead of saying, I'm this type of person, instead of saying, why God, out of all things, that's my luck. No, I say, thank God that I'm alive. It could have been worse. So yeah, I'm alive. I'm talking, and I'm half walking, but at least I can.
Dude, that is some wild ass shit, bro. Like that is it's crazy like to have to go through that. Like when it happened, like were you like did you have like your whole life flash before your eyes? Like what was like
100%. 100%. I mean, you know what? My life pretty much flashed between my eyes with the weekend as a whole because they threw a surprise 21st birthday for me. We literally brought the globe together. Like, when I say that, we had people from as far as Lebanon. Like, even though a lot of my Lebanese family and some Maori family from New Zealand are here, we had
yeah.
people from Lebanon, my dad's cousins from Lebanon that came, right? And then we had my nan who lives in New Zealand, my mum's mum, and my mum's sister come all. So we brought the Tasman together. We brought the world together. So it was a big weekend. My whole life literally flashed between my eyes. And then comes Monday, just another day in the office. It's supposed to be my usual workout and get knocked over. I thought the worst. I thought. Then I get up. I get up straight after I got hit, and I start. Poor dude that was in the car was freaking out, and I told him I'm okay. I start Ali
Mm.
shuffling. Once I spoke to the dude, I continued my run, and I didn't feel pain until about 300 meters later. I looked down at my shoe. I didn't feel pain until I realized that my shoe was a different color. My shoe that was space gray was now red wine.
Fuck. Like that would have been scary as fuck. Like even when you were telling me that, like before we started recording, I'm sitting there like going, oh, like, you know what I mean? Just because I know the sort of dude you like, the sort of like I know you as a person as well. So it's kind of like, oh fuck. So my heart's sort of breaking and sort of seeing that dude and like knowing that you're a young athlete as well. Like straight away, like you have that heart stop moment. But like how long do you think that this is going to keep you? I don't want to say out for, but say like grounded for, because I feel like, the life of an athlete is very fast moving. You know what I mean?
100%. Well, I already know off the bat that I'll be in this cast for 2 weeks until they reassess. So they're going to take it off. They might say, you know what, you got to be in this for another 2 weeks, then another, then another. So according to what the doctors said, they said that they're going to, in my terms, that I said, what, you're just going to play it by ear or sight? And they're just like, so that's pretty much what they're going to do. They're going to take it off in 2 weeks, reassess.
Mm.
And yeah, the only reason why they got this cast on, because I said, with the wound that I got, wouldn't you have to air it out? They said, yeah, but the stitches that you got on your tendon, because I tore a tendon. I didn't break any
Yeah.
bones, thank goodness. I tore a tendon in my mid toe.
Yeah.
The part that, like, they said something about the part that connects the toe to the foot or something that's torn. So they put that back together, and it makes sense because when I was moving my toes, I was like, I'm sweet, but the middle toe wasn't moving. So they said that
Oh.
that's the reason why they got the cast on. They said that's the reason why they got the cast on. But they said if things are going how they should be, when they do the
Mm.
checkup, the doctor could recommend me or give me a moon boot to wear instead of this makeshift moon boot where it's plaster. I hate it. I just want to wash my foot. That's all I want to do.
I can imagine, dude. Like I had my cousin who was up at his friend's place near on the border of Queensland, and he fell and he shattered his ankle. Like my cousin's like 10 years older than me, so he's like 51, right? So just completely shattered his ankle. Was like, so you got to think this is a guy who's not an athlete, never trained in like probably 30 years, like completely broke his foot, shattered his foot. Mind you, this is a guy who's like pretty much, I'd say, like you, always active, always doing stuff. Like he's not an athlete, but he's always like doing shit, like building engines, like a man's man, chop wood, carry water kind of guy, right? So
Yeah, nice.
6 months he was like laid up, like foot up, stuff like that. And it's like, man, the change in him, like he was just like, because he's always been like, yeah, whatever, like very low, blase, not blase, but just sort of laid back kind of attitude.
Yeah.
But you can sort of see the more and more time that he's sitting there and he's laid up, he's just going, fucking hell. Like, you know what I mean? Like he starts getting irritated. How has that been for you? Like, I know it hasn't been that long since the accident, but like, have you found like sort of being stationary, sitting still, not moving as much? Has that been frustrating for you?
Honestly, like very frustrating. I've got all this energy that's built up. You know,
Mm.
it's not a problem at all getting words out of me. Everyone's always known Mikey as a chatterbox, but isn't it funny that um, me thinking about how I've been as of the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, where because the longest I've had off training in the last 4 years is
Mm.
two days off. So I haven't had this long of a break for a very long time, right? I'm just blessed that
Yeah.
I've never sustained any injuries like this. And then I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is going on? Why can't I think it's just because I've got all this energy built up that I need to release. It's literally like a drug. I need my fix.
Yeah, bro. It's like letting those endorphins out, letting that sort of go. Because it's like when your life is so used to doing certain things every single day and it becomes almost like a routine. So I would assume like training would also become like that, where it's like, okay, wake up every morning at 5. This is what you do. You go for a
Yeah,
train, you get home, you have
absolutely.
breakfast, you have a shower, you go do errands or you go do this, then you come back, you go train again, then you come home, you eat, you shower, you go and, you know what I mean, do more, you know what I mean? Like, but then when that's
Exactly.
taken away, I feel like even when you see athletes probably that are going into retirement, when they start stepping back from stuff like that, they have probably, I don't know, it probably takes them a little while to adapt back to a different style of living and lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Like me as a person, routine is a big thing to me. Once I get the ball rolling, I keep it rolling. I don't, or I try to keep it rolling. Like, you know, a break in play, whether it was when I was playing footy, a break in play, whether it's in my daily routines, it annoys me. It's so, but anyways, I just keep reminding myself, you'll be back soon. Maybe I needed this. You know what? I look at it like this, is that even though I love training, right? I don't like, I'm going to the gym, putting myself through hell. I go out on the road to run. I put myself through hell. I'm just like, oh, there's that thing again. The way I feel after is amazing, but I feel like this little break in play is going to make me really get hungry, really crave doing it again, like
Yeah, no,
how it was early days.
it makes you want it more because you're just keen to get back out there and get amongst it, right?
Definitely, definitely.
And like, have you been able to? Is there much you're able to do? Like, have you been able to go down to the gym and at least sort of like, you know what I mean, like still have that social aspect? Because I know like training and that is it's very social as well.
Definitely, definitely. But you know what? Like if it's me, releasing that hunger for being social and whatnot. I mean, I've been seeing people more than ever now. Like because I come from such a big family. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
the hospital over last week turned into a bloody social club. All my cousins are rocking up. Oh my, because I'm the youngest cousin on both sides, so I'm the one that they all protect, and they're like, "Our baby," and I'm like this. I'm like, I love you all. It's okay. I can walk. Look at me. And they're like, no, 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 stay, stay. Oh man, but yeah. So socially, I've been pretty sweet. I'm getting a lot of phone calls. I've been to the gym to go visit and watch some sparring last week. I had to. I love it.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. So it's all sweet. It's all sweet. And I think if it continues at that pace, at this pace that it's been at now, I'm gonna recover faster than they say. I'll be sweet.
Yeah, man. No, absolutely. Well, I feel like like when you're an athlete, yeah, I mean, your body's conditioned at a different level to someone who's just like, you know what I mean? Like if it was someone like me just walking across the street, getting hit by a car, like I feel like the injury would have been like
If it was
much
you,
more
you'd
severe.
knock that car. If it was you, you'd knock that car.
Fuck off. Fuck off. No way.
Piers
But
Austin,
no,
you're
like
electrifying.
yeah. I'll take it. I'll take it. But no, like what I'm saying is like someone like who's a little bit older, like the injuries would have been much more severe. So in a lot of ways, like you got to consider yourself so lucky. You know what I mean? I know it's hard to
100%.
sort of say that, but it's like, the situation could have been a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah, 100%. That, and you know what? Me with that type of mindset, that's what's keeping me grounded. That's what's keeping me humble about it. As I keep telling myself, it could have been worse. Maybe no, it could have been way worse. It's just a foot. It's just a foot. There's no breaks. It's a torn tendon and a big glory hole of a wound. You know what I mean? Like it's it's deep as.
Yeah, man. Dude, you mentioned your dad being Lebanese and your mum being from New Zealand. That is a fucking hectic mix. That is a
It's a
hectic
mix
mix.
full of mana.
I feel like that's a mix. That's a mix that the good only produce a fighter.
Thanks, thanks. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad, but if there's one thing that I'm very proud of in life, and
Shows
that's
the
my
tough.
heritage. That's
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. So, like, dude, like, how was it for you growing up? Because like the Lebanese culture and the Maori culture are very two, very similar in some ways, but also very different in other ways. But like, tell me, man, what was life like growing up for you, like in that sort of household?
In that household, yeah, life is great. I had a great upbringing. Lots of love coming from both sides, and like I said
Yeah.
before, I was the youngest on both sides. Out of all the grandkids, I'm the youngest. So yeah, lots of love, lots of lots of friends left and right. My best friends are my cousins. Yeah,
Yeah, right. That's awesome, man. Because like, yeah, because both those cultures are very family orientated. Um, being the youngest in the family, though, like, what was it like when you told them, said, "Hey, I'm gonna go be a boxer"? Like, was there a lot of like, yeah, we don't want you to do that? Was there any hesitation from the family?
the only one that there was really a problem with is my mother, and it's because she's so protective. She doesn't want her boy to get hit. She does. She doesn't want. Yeah, she doesn't want that, and I don't think any mother really wants that. They'll support their kid, but they don't want that. But the support from day dot from all my family has been overwhelming. It feels like it was just yesterday. So my first fight was on 13th of July 2019 as an amateur, and
Yeah.
yeah, for my first ever fight, the noise that I got from just only a few, because I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell anybody at all. What happened was is that my face was on the poster of the fight night, and it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
all
yeah.
like released in the Canterbury area, which is where a lot of my family reside. And they were all like, "What's this? What's this?" And I'm like to my dad, "Don't." I was nervous. I was so nervous. I just wanted to get it over with. I was like to my dad, "Don't tell them. I know they mean it from their heart, but don't tell them." And he's like, he starts telling them all, no, he just helps out the gym that's running the show. They put him on the poster just to say thank you. They're not silly. They rocked up, and but I wouldn't have had it any other way. And since then,
Yeah.
in the amateurs, I always kept it on the down low. But ever since turning pro, though, where you have to, put yourself out there a little bit more. Yeah, I've had the crowds that you've seen rock up to my fights, and they call them the Sassine tribe because they are a tribe.
That's right, man. Like, but it's good to have that support, man. And like you, I feel like you said like the amateur style and then the pro style where you got to put yourself out there a little bit more. Whereas I feel like the amateur style of fighting, you see some great fighters coming up through those amateur ranks. But it really is such a perfect time for those guys to really learn how the fight game works and learn how to fight before taking that step into the pro ranks as well. So I can imagine like a lot of people wouldn't really want a lot of their family and friends coming out to their first fights.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Mm. Plus, it would be kind of intimidating, like having all those people there and something happening, and then like, you know what I mean? Like, I know if it was me, like having a fight, and then like having all my friends there and be like, "Ah, cunt, you got knocked out," and be like, "Fuck," like, you know what I mean? Like, it's,
And this is what puts my mind at ease more is that I know for a fact that God willing, if God forbid, if something was to happen, if I was to fall short, if I was to get the result we're rocking up for, they don't even care. Most of the people that rock up from all of the people, actually, I must say, whether it's close friends, my family, they all don't care. They're there to watch me do my thing, and they just want to see me safe and happy. That's it. They don't care.
100%, 100%, man. And that's the thing; it takes so much, you know, commitment, courage to be able to get in the ring, to be able to commit yourself to the fight game, bro. Because it's like it's so taxing. It's so
Mm,
demanding, and to be able to, I credit anyone who's been able to go and get in there and fight, whether it be amateur or pro.
yeah, 100%.
But what do you think of the fight that we saw recently, the Logan Paul versus Dylan Dennis fight? What was your take on that?
Logan Paul versus Dylan Dennis. They did fight, eh?
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even know. To be honest, I'm gonna give an answer that not many will say. Um, I didn't even watch it. I didn't
Really?
even. Yeah, when did that happen?
Last week? Like a
Yeah,
week?
no. Okay,
Within a
yeah,
week?
no. Last week I was I was
You've had a
MIA
lot
to the
going.
world. I was in
Yeah,
hospital.
you've had a lot going on. Yeah. We'll give you a pass on that one.
And
Nah,
despite this injury not being too severe or too deadly, that's why it took so long, because they were putting all the other patients that were in the emergency room first, which it's good. So I was in hospital for 3.5, nearly 4 days.
wow. Jesus. That's insane. That's insane. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think you get a pass for not being able to do it. But Logan Paul won the fight. It was a kind of a, I don't know. It was a bit of a, I don't know if you'd call it boxing, but it was definitely something. It was a spectacle.
Well, you know what? I mean, they get in there, they fought, but I got an unpopular opinion in the boxing world. In the boxing world, a lot of boxers do give that straight off the bat. I give Logan Paul, Jake Paul. I give him a bit of respect, man. Like I give him
100%.
respect. They're getting in there, they're fighting. Even though some might say they're not real boxers, but they're getting in there, they're fighting. They got literally the whole world watching. If you got anxiety from maybe a few people watching you at a local pub, or just even going up talking to someone, putting yourself out of your comfort zone. I mean, you could imagine how their anxiety is. It takes balls to get in there, and they're all right. Unpopular opinion too. I think they got a little bit of skill. They're all right.
I think Jake is actually a decent boxer. I think
Jake is better than his brother.
Jake is a lot fucking better than Logan Paul. I think Logan to me is not a, I don't know. Like after seeing him box, he's just, I don't know if he's a fighter. Like I just don't know if he, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really see it in him. You know what I mean? Maybe he's just.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Like you see Jake. Jake just has like, I don't know. Like I've seen a few of Jake's fights. Jake's just got the stance and everything like that. Where Logan just sort of, I don't know. Logan fights and he's kind of got his chin out there for most of it. And
yes, it is. It is.
Like
Jake's Paul. Who was it that he knocked out? He's knocked out a few people, but was it? Oh, I don't know. Was it Tyron Woodley?
Tyron Woodley.
Yeah, Tyron Woodley. Unless that was unless that was staged, which it's not, right? That was a severe knockout. That was a big knockout. The way that guy hit the floor, I was like, boom, boom. So he's got power, obviously.
Dude, I actually saw a clip this morning, and it was Tyron Woodley. I think he was talking about with Rampage Jackson, and he was saying like people keep coming up to him and asking him like if he would like if he took a dive in that fight, and he goes, man, he goes, what I made off that fight, he goes, 20 million, and he goes, not enough for me to take a dive, and he goes, you go ask any professional fighter that has a heart of a champion. There's no amount of money that'll make you fucking take a dive in a fight. And he goes, dude's got power. He goes, I got knocked the fuck out. Like, and I'm like, fuck, respect to that. I don't know, but then could he be saying that as like, yeah, I got $20 million on paper. The other 100 million I got under the table. That's a different story.
Then again, until the day I don't even know, God willing, but until a day that I even see this much of that, I can't sit here and judge, because that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I tell you one thing, that's the type of money that I'll be retiring nearly everybody in my family with.
Bro, it's crazy, man. Like it's I don't know. Like, do you feel like that in boxing is kind of not there anymore? Is like, because it kind of feels very old school, where it's like, hey buddy, I need you to take a dive in the 5th round. Like, do you feel like that sort of like, do you feel like that kind of thing in boxing isn't really there? Like, I feel like it'd be a lot harder for someone to pull off now.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, if you're a boxer, you can't be, you're not an actor. You can't act these things. You can't act these things. Look, in the world, anything happens, but I haven't experienced it firsthand. Nothing that I don't think it's that easy to pull off.
Yeah, I think in a day and age,
especially nowadays that everything gets recorded, you can get caught out with anything.
Oh, 100%, dude. It's crazy. It definitely is. The fact that back then it was probably a lot easier in the 70s and 80s to be able to do that. Like my dad, who his brother was a boxing coach, used to tell me like they grew up in Queensland, and they had
Yeah.
my uncle, who was a boxing coach or manager or whatever, used to have this guy called Albert, this big Fijian guy who he used to manage, and they used to call him Lay Down Albert. And I'm like, why do they call him Lay Down Albert? My dad goes, because if you paid him the right amount of money, he'll take a dive for anyone in the third, fourth, or fifth round. And I'm like,
Far out,
really?
man.
And they go, but my dad said, he's like, but this guy was a fucking savage. Like, he just would go out there and like KO guys round one. Like, his fights would never get out of the first round. He goes, any of his fights that we go past the first round, we'd go, okay, cool, he's been paid off for this one.
Oh my goodness. You know what? But if I was to find out about that, I'd steer clear of that guy. I'd rather anyone give me their best, because I want to know that if I get the win, that I earned it, that I did,
Yeah, bro.
you know.
I feel like that is like, as an athlete, and like I feel like all athletes are competitive people, and I feel like no one would want to take a win that way.
No way.
I mean, fuck, that's some fucking crazy ass shit. Yeah, but I don't know, man. Like, I don't see someone like Tyrone Woodley taking a dive for Jake Paul. You know what I mean?
Way. No way.
It's like, you can see though, like I think some fighters go in there and they don't take things as serious. Like you see when Nate Diaz fought Jake Paul, as like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like Diaz is like, yeah, fuck this. I'm just here for a fucking payday. And you can see that, but it's not taking a dive, but it's just like, yeah, I don't really give a fuck about like the outcome here.
Yeah.
But you know, for yourself though, man, like what has been like the biggest challenge, like going from being an amateur to going pro? Like you said, like having your first amateur fight in 2019, you know, now 2023, a pro, 4 years, quick turnaround. What has been the biggest challenge for you going from being an amateur to a pro?
The biggest challenge is breaking barriers and getting out of my comfort zone. Whether it's something just as little as, hey, be on this poster, whether it's something as little as, hey, go and tell these people that you're fighting, you have to sell this amount of tickets. The biggest challenge for me is breaking mental barriers and, you know, making peace with breaking those mental like barriers. Like whether it's me saying, you know what, you got to go up and do this, you got to go up and speak to this person, you got to go put yourself out more. That's the hardest part, breaking mental barriers.
Yeah, I mean, do you like selling tickets and stuff like that? Is that something that is more pressured on you as a pro? Like, on, hey, you've got to sell X amount of tickets, you're going to be booked on this show to fight.
To be honest, any number that I've been told to meet when it comes to tickets hasn't been it's been the easiest thing ever, to be honest. And I'm not just trying to sound like I'm popular. I come from a gigantic family. It's massive,
Yeah.
right? So it's a chain effect. If I give, let's say, 10 tickets, I'll go, hey, cuz, to one of my cousins, hey, cuz, here's 10 tickets. You're done. They'll just turn back on me. They'll ring me that day. Hey, I need an extra couple for blah 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 blah. Like, that's just how it is.
That's
I'm pretty
mad.
blessed to have it. Yeah, exactly.
That's an easier way to be able to move tickets. Just say, hey, mum, dad, call the cuzzies.
Yeah, not even. If as soon as I announce it on my social media, bombarded with me. And then there's also my friends, because I got good friends in my life too. So then by the time it comes to people from the gym, people that know people from the gym wanting tickets, I'm out. Just get them at the door, or stuff like that.
That's insane. You know, let me ask you this. One of the things, like when I first saw you fight, I said this when I called the fight, is like the precision of your striking, the calmness in how you were. Like, you seemed so relaxed in there. You were very composed as a fighter. How long did it take for your fight style to really develop?
Wow, that is like the best compliment, because everyone wants to have, oh, I got this, I got the power, I got the speed. But what I look for is to be that, what you just said, composed, calm, and cool. Because I don't know, what was the question again? What do I try to be like?
No, how long did it take you to really develop your style, or to be
Be
that
that
kind
way?
of fighter?
It's still to this day, it's never calm enough. It took me maybe, I don't know, up to my 10th amateur fight, up to maybe my 9th amateur fight, to try and get into routines to try and manage the anxiety and all that, because I know for a fact that in my heart and in my brain, I've got a switch that I can flick that can turn straight up. Yeah, that can turn me mongrel. You know what I mean? I got some mongrel in me, but it's harder to
Absolutely.
reverse that. So I try to stay calm, because I can think better when I'm calm. So yeah, it took me around maybe 9 fights in, 8 fights in as an amateur for me to really start to control my breathing and prioritize my anxiety and all that.
Yeah, because you definitely saw that, like in that fight. Like I thought you were actually much older than what you were, because it was like how the composure that you shown in that fight. And then the guy I was doing commentary with, he actually was like, he told me after the fight, he's like, yeah, this guy's like 20 years old. I'm like, get the fuck out. Like that was my response. I was like, no fucking way. Because I just think the fight IQ that you showed in that fight to me was a standout.
Wow, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think you and Yui definitely, for me, put on the performances of the night in those fights. Like, both you guys just really showed, some amazing skill.
Yui Dib.
Yeah,
You know what? I'm not this boxer guy that says I'm this, I'm that. If you're putting me even in the same equation as that guy, nah. Yui is slick as. I swear, I'm not even just
you
saying. I was a Yui fan before I even met Yui. You know what I mean? Yui's a slick boxer. But I've been a fan of.
really good.
I know Billy, his brother, and yeah, I was a Billy fan before I was a Billy mate, because Billy met me officially at the first fight, and he wished me luck in the corner on the
Yeah.
Billy Hussein night. Yeah, so it's just mad that my name's even getting thrown in the same sentence as these fellas. That's mad. Thank you.
Yeah, no, dude. Like, honestly, I felt like you two were the standout fighters for me on that show. Like, for me to be able to sit there and call it, I was just sitting there and I just walked away. I was like, damn, like there are some good pro fighters coming up through those ranks. For you, like, where do you see yourself as far as trying to fight through and get to, because I feel like in the fight game, much like everything, there's always levels to certain things. For you, how far do you see yourself getting to that world stage? Because I think that you have the tools to be able to get there. But I'm just saying, how long do you think it is before you can actually break through that? Put the injury aside.
Yeah, injury aside, I'm not injured. What are you talking about? Look at that.
That's
No,
it.
I'm kidding.
That's,
Yeah,
that's it,
right.
brother. Just a boot.
Anyways, how far? I'm a brick by brick type of person, and I'm not just saying this because it sounds a bit cliche saying, "Oh, I like to take things step by step." But I was raised to accommodate to what's in front of you first before you think about the future. I'm thinking about the future, and this is why I've got this sort of mindset, brick by brick. I take things, yeah, as I just said, brick by brick, and I feel like if I get even just as far as across the road, it's better than where I first started. So I'd like to keep crossing roads, and hopefully eventually it'll get to somewhere more. But for now, my where I want to be is I want to be out this cast. I know we said eliminate the injury, but I want to be out this cast, and I want to go for a run this time round. I'm gonna look more.
Maybe you know what we'll do? I'll speak to Brett and Dave and we'll get you a treadmill. Probably safer.
Yeah, I
I'll,
just
I'll, I'll
we've even
chip
got
in.
a treadmill. I got a treadmill at home too. I just don't use it because it's so boring. The run goes so slow. I like to, be looking around. It makes the run go faster. But if you're talking what we were talking about before, though, back on the topic, if it's goals and if it's there's only really one thing I want in life, as well as if boxing is what gets me there. But there's one thing I want in my life, and that's to retire my bloody parents. And I mean that. I mean that. I say that from here. I want to retire my parents, and I want to help set up those that have helped me out my whole life. All these cousins that I'm talking about, that's us one day, hopefully. Whether it's through boxing, whether it's through the job, my day job that I work. My only goal is to retire the people I love.
Hey man, it definitely can happen, bro. Like I definitely think you've got the skill set, man. And as I said, to see someone like yourself break through on that world stage, man, someone who's an absolute gentleman, I think there would be good to see good things happen to good people. I definitely think that it's in your cards. I think it's in your future. And I think there's you look at Australian boxing, you see what Jai Opetaia is doing at the moment, and really sort of dominating that cruiserweight division. Man, I think in the next couple of years, bro, you're going to be a name like Jai Opetaia that's that sort of just starts murking motherfuckers, bro, and really sort of start breaking through on that world stage.
Yeah, talk about Joe Batar. I like Joe Batar. He's slick. If you like that slick style, doesn't get slicker than that. He's
Yeah, I
slick
love
as so safe.
that, bro. I watched his cruiserweight title win where he got his jaw broken in the second round recently. I watched it like 2 weeks ago,
Yeah,
and I'm just like, a buddy of mine was saying, he's like, dude, look at this. And he like played, and like he's like, I knew about Jai Opetaia and I knew about the break. He's like, nah, let's watch this fight. And he put the fight on for me, and it's like you see his jaw, like you see him take this uppercut, and you just see his jaw going clunk. And I
it
was
was
like,
yuck, eh?
oh,
Yeah.
bro, the toughness of this motherfucker, bro. I was just like, God damn. But yeah, like after seeing that, I was just like, I'm obsessed with his fights now. Like have gone back and watched every single one of his fights that I can. I'm a huge fucking fan of his stuff.
Yeah, no, I've been a fan. I've been a supporter of Joe Batar for a while. The first thing that had me support that guy was he goes for the Rabbitohs. Like when I was younger, I see a Rabbitoh on his gear, and I'm like, that's my guy. But then I see him fight, and he's got a style that, like I said before, it's very safe for people that aren't boxing fans or for people that are just fight fans. Some might say he's boring. I like a boring style. That means that he's a thinker. He's a safe fighter. He's going in there, but he can throw him too. He can throw him.
He's got some heavy hands, bro. But the thing is, he doesn't necessarily go out there and just like throw hands like a meathead. Like, as you said, he's very calculated in where his fights. But the thing is, like, those fans that say, oh, it's a boring fight, it's this and that, they don't understand the game, bro.
Yeah.
It's like when UFC fans go, yeah, bro, I'm a UFC fan. Bro, I want to see him stand and trade. Then go watch fucking boxing.
Yeah,
Dude.
go watch kickboxing.
Oh, but these are the same guys going, oh, this fight's boring. They're not fucking cutting each other or bashing. No, dude, because they're picking each other apart. Or the fight's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'd rather see a guy who is so fucking on point. His technique is on point that he's just picking someone apart. Doesn't necessarily have to be the big, heavy shots. Those things come in a fight. But a fighter that can just pick his shots and just pick away at his opponent, that to me is a much more enjoyable fight.
Well, it's the game, of course.
It definitely is. But that's the thing. Fans don't really understand that, though, I feel like. Unless they're like hardcore fight fans.
Go pick a different sport.
That's it, man. Fucking put them in the place. Go watch tennis if you want to see some shit get smashed, you know. But dude, like outside of fighting, bro, like what is it that for you that you're able to do to sort of unwind and relax and sort of like disconnect from it at times?
From fighting, I got a very busy life, and yeah, fighting isn't all my life. I coach a junior footy team. And I also have a day job. I work at a school as a teacher's aide.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I specifically work with the kids that need that extra help, whether it's in a support unit or kids in mainstream. Yeah, whoever the school tells me to, pretty much. But let's just say it like this: the way people say, oh, you want to focus on boxing, do less. Nah, I wouldn't trade my job for the world. I love my job.
I mean, do you want to be a teacher one day, or is that the plan? Or
You know what's funny is that a lot of the people that work at my school that I work at, they're like, Mikey, you'd be a great teacher. You'd be this. You should go. But I don't know. Going to uni I'm not saying I'm lazy, but going to uni for 4 years and then you got to go to get that accreditation, go to work. By the time you've had a full-on day, right? You've dealt with all this up there, and then you got to go home. You got to plan lessons. You got to incident report if some stuff has happened. It is the big. I believe that's one of the biggest jobs of all.
My wife's a primary school teacher. I
wow.
see it. Yeah, I see it.
You got to do all that, and then on top of that, I got to go to the gym. Oh, I got to fight next week. Oh, nah, man. So I wanna have a good balance between both, and that I do have. So yeah, I'm very, very blessed to have what I have.
Yeah, man. I feel like as a fighter, you can't have too many other outside noises going on. You know what I mean? Because it's like you can't go, oh, I've got a fight coming up this week. Oh, but I've got this meeting I've got to get ready for on Monday. You know what I mean? Like you can't really live that lifestyle, right?
100%, 100%.
It's nuts, man. But like, when would you like to sit, like, injury heals, everything like that for you? Would be the dream time for you to get back in and have another fight?
Tomorrow. I wish that's the dream time, but um, I'd be happy with hey, you're going to be physically back to what you were at the beginning of next year, because this year is nearly out. I'd like to get that. If I go for an appointment this week just to see how things are going later on this week, I'd like for the doctor to say you'll be 100% by early next year. And early, I mean 1st of January. That's early. Late is the 10th of January. So I'd like for that. That's the ideal time. But I think realistically, I should be by February. I think I should be. That's what they've told me so far. And yeah.
Man, that's a quick turnaround considering the injury, everything like that. Man, if getting you back in the ring in February would be great to see. I hope I get to call that fight, man. I'd love to be able to call the comeback fight after this injury that you sustained. But bro, like, small setbacks happen, bro, and I definitely think in February you definitely will be fighting, man. I think you'll be coming back a lot quicker than I think most people think.
Yeah. February, March. Usually there's more fights in March, to be honest. There's very little in February. But anyways, whatever comes up first, I'll let my coaches decide. And I'm just going to try and get my mental health as well as my physical health on track. But then again, my mental health is already there. How's about this? When Brett dropped me off to the hospital, Brett and Dave, they were both with me. And I was like, Brett, because it was still at the panic stages. I was bloody worrying. Once I seen the wound, once I got taken to hospital, everything, I was like, I don't care what you say. I was like, I'm still fighting in December. He goes, shut up. He goes, don't talk. He goes, seriously. Don't worry about it. This is why I love my coaches, because they always tell me life is life and boxing is boxing. It's good to, use boxing as a tool, but that, they told me straight away, you're lucky to be alive, mate. You're lucky that it's only your foot, only your leg. And I'm just like, Brett, yeah, but if this, he goes, we don't even know what the injury is yet. He goes, man, you rushed too much, kid. I'm like, kid, I turned 21 the other week. I'm not a kid no more. I'm not a kid anymore. And he's like, you always be a kid to us. It's okay. And I'm just like,
hey, man, it's good to have good coaches, man. Brett and Dave are amazing guys I've known for many years. You're definitely in good hands with those guys, man. But before we wrap up, man, where can everyone find you on social media? Where you want to give your sponsors a quick plug as well? Give them a shout out.
Definitely so. So you can find me on social media at Mikey Sassine. I always spell out my name like that. I always spell my name out, even though Mikey's simple name. You'll get some people that'll put it Mikey, which is Mickey. For all the people that's watching, that ain't it. It's Mikey, Mikey Sassine, right? And big shout out to all my sponsors. Thank you so much to all my sponsors. First of all, Powerbox and NU Marrickville for supplying me with the tools that I need, right, to prepare. And send me all, and Powerbox give me the tools that I need to be.
We're starting to get you. You're cutting out there, bro. We lost you there.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, you're cutting out, man. But I'll tell you what, Mikey, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Oh yeah, everyone can see and hear you. Yeah, if this is
we got you back. But guys, thank you so much to Mikey for being on the podcast, man. We appreciate him so much. But guys, please make sure to like, share, subscribe. Make sure you also go and follow Mikey Sassine on all social media. But guys, until next time, we'll see you again very soon. Take care. All the best. Mwah. Peace.
With that.